Welcome. My name is Edward Fries. I'm 30 years old. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. We're right next door to Dallas. You know, Dallas really isn't a great city, in my opinion. It's the cousin that nobody wants to admit they have. Uh, Let me tell you a little bit about my business. My business is two-fronted. I make products for the pastry industry, and we've been doing that for the better part of about 15 years. Also, it's been about the same length of time that I've been working and making cakes myself. I got into baking and cake decorating kind of in an unorthodox way. The way I started was my parents used to own a delicatessen and used to come down here to our delicatessen and help my mother bake rolls. Being only 3 years old, whenever that happened, it was 3 in the morning, so I was always allowed to have free reign in the kitchen and just enjoy myself. So what I would do is I would make little animals out of bread, and then one of my favorites was snakes, just little slithery pieces of bread that I'd make. Um, and when it comes to my personality, you're going to find out very quick that I'm very loud and boisterous. I always have to be the center of attention. If I'm not the center of attention, I try to draw people in, and I really do like to talk. Sometimes I'm a little bit winded, but you know what? I'd rather people know me for who I am as opposed to being the silent person who's always in the back. When it comes to baking, I only have one real true philosophy. I believe in a couple of different things, but one, if it isn't tasty on the inside and it doesn't look good on the outside, it shouldn't go out. Every customer that you have is family because they're the ones who recommend you. Granted, if you don't do a good job to one person, that word goes out 3 times faster than a great cake. So you have to always constantly improve and give out the best product that you can offer. When it comes to baking, I in particular like just more traditional cakes. I'm really great at baking cakes, decorating cakes. That's my comfort zone. I don't mind doing cookies. I love cookies and cupcakes. The one thing I hate, cornbread. I hate cornbread. I don't know who invented it, especially instant cornbread. It's awful. I've made it 6 times in my life, and every time it's either been burnt, a cement block, or gooey. I mean, instant cornbread, nobody messes up on that but me. I mean, I'm just that damn inept with cornbread. I don't know. It's my kryptonite, the Superman. All right, if a customer were to ask me to do something unorthodox, such as making buttercream icing with lard, well, first and foremost, I would talk to them as a professional and tell them, listen, I've done this for years and years. I highly don't recommend it for several different reasons, among which lard, it's very granular whenever you put into an icing. Granted, it has a very neutral flavor, so you don't have much that you have to worry about as far as flavor-wise, but it's very granular. It creates an awful texture. There are many other options. If you want something that isn't butter, you can always go with a high ratio shortening. It creates a better emulsification. It does a great job encapsulating the water molecule, allowing it to be very light, airy, and then to which you can add whatever kind of flavoring you want. Now, if a customer also continued to be insistent, well, what I would do, I'd still try to have it my way. So what I would do is I'd go ahead and make a couple of buttercream icings, one with butter, which is either an Italian buttercream or a French buttercream, or even a traditional American buttercream. Then I would go to a high ratio, which would be the best melding of the two. It would have a ratio or a fatty taste like the lard, but it would still take the characteristics of actual butter. And then lastly, what I would do, I would make one with lard, but I would be kind of mean. What I would do is I'd actually put a little bit more salt in there, make it a little bit bitter so it wouldn't taste well, and then let them try it out. And then if they still are hard set on getting it, I'd make them sign a waiver, absolving me of all responsibility and any issues regarding it. After all, customer is always right. If they want that, if they want to have a purple cake, they'll have a purple cake, even if it's going to be on St. Patrick's Day.
Name 3 things you feel you excel in life and why.
In life, I've probably excelled best at my cake decorating, my product lines, and being a great role model to my niece. She had it rough when she was growing up, and that's one of the things I pride myself most on.
What would your friends, toughest critics describe you? Do you agree with them?
Well, my friends always think of me as a hoot and holler. They always just love spending time with me. Uh, I'm usually kind of the guy who splurges and goes out to parks and enjoys myself that way. My critics, uh, to hell with them. Uh, they're people who don't like me typically don't like me for their own agendas. I'm going to be just lively and enjoy myself, and I'm going to do my best job. I'm one of the best cake decorators in the nation, and if somebody doesn't like that and they want to be down, well, the hell with them. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, there's always going to be those detractors, and I'm not going to be put down by anybody.
What type of things push your buttons and why?
All right. There's only a few things that really do push my buttons, and the one thing above anything else, I hate ineptitude and laziness. I don't mind whether it's a competitor, a family member, or anybody in society. If they're lazy and they make excuses for why they can't accomplish anything, I'm the one who says, you know what? It's your own damn fault. You shouldn't have put yourself in that situation, and you should push yourself harder than everybody else and rise above the situation that you're currently in. I hate ineptitude. Don't put me with somebody who is just an absolute loser.
Tell us about your background, upbringing, past. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little personal story, anything. Rebel in high school.
Well, I was a little bit of a problem child whenever I was in high school. I got in a little bit of trouble. It wasn't anything really big, but spent a year at home doing homeschooling. And really quickly what happened was I spent more and more time with my parents in what now became the bakery about when I was 14 years old. And I learned to really love the craft. I started off rolling fondant in the back. I started making buttercream icing. That was my responsibility. It wasn't very glamorous. Nobody ever saw me. But I learned the fundamentals. I learned how to bake. I learned how to do all this. And just like any employee at any shop, I eventually worked my way up to being the one who does the consultations and being the one who made the contracts and taking care of all the business.
How do you react to criticism? What's your gut reaction?
Whenever people criticize me, now there's two types of criticism. There's warranted and unwarranted criticism, and when it comes to unwarranted criticism, there's a couple of gestures I'd like to give some of those people. And when it comes to warranted, you know what? Everybody could improve. Not so much me too much because I'm pretty good at what I do, but you know what? If you're got blinders on your eyes, you're never going to be able to improve and become better than everybody else. So constructive criticism, great. People who just do it just to detract on you, you know what? PG-13.
If you watched the episode of Cake Boss before, which contestant would you most relate to and why?
Now, I've never really watched any episodes of Cake Boss, but one of my colleagues and friends, Jake Qualls, he competed and he said, this might be a great thing for you. So I'd say if I have to say anybody, I'd say Jay because he's a great guy and I couldn't go wrong with him.
Do you feel your skills are better than previous contestants? Elaborate.
When it comes to skills and abilities, you know, like I said, I haven't seen any episodes, but I would be hard-pressed to say that anybody's as good as me. I may not be the best make the best flowers. I may not be the best pulled sugar artist, but as an all-around cake sculptor and cake decorator,